With us now is retired Colonel Miri, director of the International Institute for Counterterrorism at Reichman University. Miri, we're hearing Yoav Gallant speak about applying pressure and even more pressure. What do you think about that?
So there's no question whatsoever that the Israeli official position is very clear. We are talking right now about the diplomacy that's bringing out the hostages, but that the only reason that that diplomacy has been successful, and we all need to remember successful to a certain degree, is because of the military pressure. I want to give one example for the viewers. Around 3.5 weeks ago, Yahya Sinwar, that is the commander, the planner of this Hamas genocidal plan, around 3.5 weeks ago, he made a statement. He has not spoken a lot over these last 7 weeks, in which he said all of the prisoners inside Israeli jails for the hostages. And that was 3.5 weeks ago, before we started the military ground operation. And I don't say this happily, I say it sadly. But the pressure that a terror organization understands that allows to release women and children, babies, look at the age of these people that we're seeing right now. The only pressure that works is sadly the military pressure, hand in hand with the diplomacy. But the diplomacy is to bring about their return. The only reason that Hamas were willing to talk to anybody and to release these women and children, as they're doing so in a very cynical way, was because of the military pressure. So yes, it's more military pressure in the future.
Are we to be expecting more deals such as this one?
So the deal itself, as we've all seen, is with a terror organization. Did we all not notice yesterday the amount of time, and that the terror organization claims that Israel isn't doing all of the things? Hamas is trying to pose itself as being on an equal moral equivalency, sovereign equivalency, state versus state opposite Israel. And that's one of the challenges, both in the psychological operations. They're trying to show themselves as being generous, as being benevolent. These are the Hamas terrorists that in their plan murdered 1,200 people, took these 240 people, never said who they have. On the day before, they'll say who are the next ones they're going to release. So I do not want to hope. I want to say we have to get back our 240, but it's the combination. I don't think that it is the diplomacy that is only going to deliver. I really do agree with Minister of Defense Gallant that when it comes to a terror organization, you have to continue with the military operation. And I say it sadly. This doesn't make me happy, but I don't think they'll do it otherwise.
Now, we saw a lot of suspense last night with Hamas delaying the release by hours, with Israel and families not knowing until the last second whether their loved ones will or will not be released. Now, what happened there? Why was there such a delay? Do we know?
So it isn't about knowing. It's about what's going to happen today and tomorrow, our own expectations. Think of the psychological climate. We're all focused right now on the hostages, on those amazing children, on the mothers, on the grandmothers, on all of the women. And it's making us all very emotional, meaning this isn't about the hostages. This is about making the state of Israel, all of us here, all of the Israel supporters, those who understand the situation, very emotional. When you are emotional, it impacts your decision-making. That's part of the psychological aspect of what Hamas is trying to do. They're trying to turn it into something that no matter what, we have to release all the hostages, that no matter what, we have no any other way except for dealing with Hamas, the terror organization. That is part of the challenge. That means that you have to breathe in deep. As I said before, at the end, the only reason they're releasing these are because we were under military pressure. Every day that goes by, there isn't the military pressure. So every day they're going to play games because they're not worried about Israel's military pressure. So we have to threaten with the military pressure. I remind everybody what you know well. That military pressure has brought about a large-scale destruction inside the Gaza Strip. It's brought about a lot of deaths because of what Hamas does inside the Gaza Strip. So if Israel initiates military pressure right now, the world is going to be against us. So that's part of the psychological setting, breathing in deep and understanding it's a terror organization, not anything else that we're dealing with.
Miri, thank you very much for your input.